So the first thing we're going to do is unload the truck. I got all these pallets from work, plus this diamond plate. It's 2 by 4 foot. I figured that'd be a good sized table. You can get all these pallets from many different places. Most people just throw them away. So those will be free. As far as the diamond plate goes, you can get this from any welding shop or fabrication shop or machine shop. They should all have something like this. You don't need 1/4 inch stainless. All you really need is 1/8 inch mild steel. But we were just tossing this and I figured this would be good. So, okay, now that we've unloaded the truck, we're gonna go ahead and disassemble that pallet, and part of that pallet. Be sure you pull the nails out too. Not all of them are going to come out. So if they don't come out and the heads come off like that, you grab some pliers or channel locks or whatever. Right down like that. Depending on how rusty they are, they might not come out at all. So I just grab a Sawzall and cut them right off. Just be cognizant of where they are when you're using the saw. Now that all the nails are out, it's time to work on the side pieces. Now since our plate measures 48 by 24, we're going to make our side pieces a few inches longer. And I'll tell you why in a second. Now I've cut these down to about 28 and these down to about 56. What we're going to do with these ones, we're going to cut these right in half on the table saw. And we're going to also rip these down a little bit because I think they're a little too wide. But what we're trying to go for here is a style kind of like this, where they just butt up kind of to the end, and the diamond plate will sit right in here like this. So we're going to dado this out after. Now I've ripped all the boards down to approximately 3 1/4 by 1.5 inches. Now as you can see, the table saw left quite a few burn marks on there. But I think I'm going to leave it because I think that gives it some character. Now we're going to cut it down to the actual size that we need. So now that I've cut my sides, it's time to dado the outside edge here just 1/4 inch so that this sits flush with the top of this. Now after you dado all your pieces, you're going to want to cut the ends like that. Because what will happen is that this will come out like that, and the other piece will line up with it. How to do that, after I dadoed this, I set it up in there and I butted the other one, the smaller piece, to it, and I took a pencil and I drew a line down. And that's what you get over here. Now it'd be best to be cutting it on a bandsaw, but I don't have one, so I have to use a handsaw. So when you're all done dadoing and cutting, you're going to get a result somewhat like that. Now it's not perfect by any means, but we really don't want it to be either, because after all, it is just a pallet. If you feel the diamond plate, there are some spots where it's a little high. We'll end up putting a couple screws in here, but what we're going to want to do is take the grinder with a sanding disc and just make a nice soft round edge, because that stainless is pretty sharp. Now before we take it all apart so that we can sand that diamond plate down a little bit, maybe sand up the wood quick, you want to label it A, that side's A, and I also made a little A on that corner. And then this corner is B, C, D. We don't want to sand a whole lot, just enough to get all the slivers out of there or whatnot. Now I like the way these two look, but then if you look at the two side pieces, the ends, they look kind of bland. So what we're going to do is take a blowtorch to this part of it right here and just heat it up a little bit, and then you'll get the burns in it to help accent everything. Next thing we're going to do is hit this with the grinder. Now we want to go ahead and cut the legs for our table. And what I'm going to do is make my table 18 inches tall. So with the 1/4 inch diamond plate, I'll just cut my legs at 17 3/4. Now the legs are all cut. I sanded them. I think this one looks pretty neat. The other ones are all kind of bland, so maybe I'll just hit it with a blowtorch quick and then it's off to staining. Now it's time to stain the side pieces. What I'm using is a darker stain. See how it looks. You can use, whatever you want. Yeah, I like that. You can see where I hit it with the blowtorch. You got a nail that I cut through right there. Looks alright. I'll stain the other ones and let them dry, and then we'll put some polyurethane on. Now all the pieces are stained and polyed. I just gotta let them dry. These 4 were all stained, and these ones I burnt with the blowtorch. Then I did all 4 sides too. So I'll just pick the sides that look the best to stick out. Now it's time to drill the holes. I came in about 8 inches or so. Closer to the edge, because remember, we only have about 3/4 of an inch here. So on the sides, all I did was drill an 1/8 inch hole, and then I used this countersink here, and then I just used 1 1/4 inch sheetrock screws to drill into. And that should hold it good enough. There, and all our sides are on. I actually decided not to put any screws in the middle. I don't think it needs any at all. But now we're going to flip it over and put the legs on. So when you get the legs, you get the table flipped over, set the legs up, take your square, make sure that it's plumb, then go ahead and screw it. What I did was I just took two 3-inch construction screws, screwed them in, and I just took a Sharpie and I painted them black. I did 2 on this side and then the opposite way on this side so that they don't hit each other. So that's it. She's all done. I guess what you could do, if you really wanted, you could add like a little shelf underneath there. I do have all that leftover wood from the pallet that we cut up, but I don't know, I bet she weighs 200 pounds right now. So, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon.